Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Ty. Thank you so much, Ty. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, commentaries, reactions, reviews, rankings, lists, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for The People vs. Larry Flynt from 1996. Now, this is a film I've seen before and always enjoyed, always liked. Because, while yes, I'm sure this painted Larry Flynt, who is the pornographer who ran Hustler magazine, I'm sure this painted him much more in a nicer or heroic light than in reality. So I would say, if you want to say this is a picture-perfect biography of his life, you would have to take that with the biggest grain of salt ever, the size of Godzilla. But as a film on its own, where it's a story about activism, the First Amendment, censorship, it is an interesting and entertaining film where Woody Harrelson, I think, gives a wonderful performance as Larry Flynt. A lot of energy, gusto. Yeah, the speech is a little bit like the marbles in the mouth, but at the same time, it's never to a point that I don't understand what he's saying. And if they go through all the emotions of anger, go a bit crazy, sad, crying, like all the flurry, fuck does that mean? The fury, and there's a lot of emotions going through it. That's what I was trying to say. And, from what I understand, the real Larry Flynt, I mean, they don't touch in this film where he had issues in his magazine that dealt with rape and other more hardcore porn. Granted, I think the director who did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, he mentioned if he put that stuff into there, then he probably would not have gotten the rating that he did get. Especially how the MPA was at this time. And, folks were mad that it sanitized Larry Flynt. I didn't know the guy. I can believe that. But all I'm going to say is, as a movie, as a story, it was interesting and entertaining unto itself. I mean, Edward Norton kind of says it best as the lawyer, talking to Larry Flynt. I may not agree with what you do or like what you do. I like porn just as much as others, but the other stuff. But as Edward Norton says, I may not like what you do, but I do appreciate your case about censorship and the First Amendment. And this great line, which Larry Flynt, Woody Harrelson says himself. You could sell a picture of a murder, but you give us a hard time selling a picture of sex. Because there's this meeting he has with a group of people. It's like, if you take a picture of a murder, you may get the front page, you may even get a Pulitzer. But if you take a picture of sex, you may go to jail. Is there a time where, with sex and Playboy, it wasn't as graphic, where you couldn't see the vagina, you were not able to see the pussy? There's nothing wrong with the pussy. As long as it's, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 years old. And clean. And that is a true idea where, murder on the news, they'll show the graphic stuff on the news, whether it be war. How many wartime car crashes, things of that nature, that at least they used to. I'm not sure about now because I rarely watch the news now, but back then they would show. Unless maybe they go, viewer discretion is advised. But they just show that. But sex, which is a lot nicer. No on that. A little bit of blood, okay. And it always was a weird argument. Sex is so bad. No, it's the way you do it. Do it the right way. It's natural and fun. I also thought Woody Harrelson, not only does he give a great performance, but he works so well with Courtney Love, who plays Althea, the stripper, and the two of them then become an item. And it goes through the decades where, they're making fun of Playboy, and then his bar business not doing well, so he starts up a business, this Hustler magazine. And, a photographer says, you can't show the vagina? Hey, the same God that created hey, you believe in God? Well, that same God created vagina, and you trying to defy God? Just shoot the picture. Now, granted, because there's so many decades, there's a lot of gaps that are put upon the story, because you have to go through so many in so little of time. So it go from, boom, start Hustler, then it's not doing well. Then they did naked pictures of Jackie O. Oh my God, it's the first pussy. As in the first lady. Wife, Jackie O, wife to the president. Instead of first lady, it's the first pussy. But they don't really go into any possible fallout of that. They pretty much go into they made a lot of money. Which is a funny bit because Courtney Love goes, take off your pants. And Woody Harrelson's like, why? Because I never fucked a millionaire before. And they kind of go through some of the taboo stuff. Like, they have a chick with dick and you can't put that in there. And then they have these court trials. And Edward Norton is brought in. And he's like, I want to take the case because of what I said before. And as Woody Harrelson says, all I'm guilty of is bad taste. And it's about a lot of the courtroom trial that goes along his career. Various different trials. There's a bit where the sister of Jimmy Carter contacted him and pray with Jesus with me. And then he becomes a big fan of Jesus, but then he gets shot. He's paralyzed from the waist down. He's not about the Jesus. Nobody messes with the Jesus anymore. And then the pain of that led to drugs. And then Courtney Love gets addicted to it because she starts taking some. But then he's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. And he tries to get Courtney Love off of it, but that doesn't work out. Like I said, in this bit where there's a lot of stuff that's being jumped ahead, because again, there's just not enough time. There's a part of me that wishes, how they did that thing with Pam and Tommy, where it's different episodes? I kind of wish this was a case of that. If you had that ability back in the day, that you could get a lot more out of what the stories were in between. There must be a lot of other crazy stories or other stories of Larry Flynt. I would imagine this probably just touched the... But at the same time, you either look at this as a Larry Flynt biography or you look at this as the title suggests. It's about the court stuff. So that's for me, it's that we put a little bit into the life, but it's long enough to get to the court stuff because the court stuff was the more, I think, important part of the script and story, at least to the director, is the courtroom stuff. So yeah, there's a part of you that, you like to see a little bit more of the in-between. Just like some of the people that Woody Harrelson, again, his friends. Like there's Vincent Schiavelli. He's a guy, if you've seen Patrick Swayze's film Ghost, the ghost that trains him in the subway to like kick the can and interact with physical objects, that's Vincent Schiavelli. He's in this, and, what's his name? I know his name. Back to the Future. Friday the 13th Part 4. Hey, where's the corkscrew? He was in the remake of Willard. Why can't I not remember his name? See, this is the thing. I'm so bad with fucking names nowadays. But yeah, he starred in the remake of Willard. He's in this. I hate that I'm so bad with names. He had the goofy dance in Friday Part 4. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I hate that. Don't you hate that when you get something on the tip of your tongue? You can't quite say it. God, I hate that, damn it. Anyway. Maybe I'll think about it later. Oh well. Martin McFly's dad in Back to the Future. But it's one of those things where they don't, like, they pop up, but then the next thing you know, they're in this big, high-priced mansion of their workplace, and you didn't realize. I just, there wasn't enough time to go into all of these theaters, to be fair. And at the end of the day, it's fine, because the love story between Woody Harrelson and Courtney Love is actually, despite what you think the tears would be like, they're, in the film, rather sweet love story. And Courtney Love, for a woman that's mainly a singer, she did a good job acting. She got some award nominations and recognition. And you see this woman that is there for her husband each step of the way. And you see how, you know, her health, her addiction, all this stuff in the background that, in a way, Larry Flynt's not paying enough attention to because he's so caught up in all these trials and trying to fight the system. At least the way this movie categorizes his career. Like, for example, there's this bit with John DeLorean, the guy who had those cars from Back to the Future, you know, the DeLorean. There's a big thing with drugs, and there was footage about, you know, the FBI, the sting operation, and I mean, Woody Harrelson, his performance, there's a lot of cocaine now, motherfucker. And the person he gives the info to is Norm Macdonald. I forgot Norm Macdonald was in this. Completely forgot Norm Macdonald was in this. I'm like, oh shit. I forgot all about that. I mean, he's not there to be funny or anything. He's just there for this, you know, one or two scenes, and, you know, rest in peace, Norm Macdonald. And then there's all this court trials about, say who your source was, and he's like, no, I'm going to protect my sources, and he puts a flag, the American flag, as a diaper, and he's like, well, if you don't treat me like a if you don't treat me like a baby, I guess I'll act like one, and I'll dress like one. I'm here to shake up the system. I'm here to shake up the system, and, you know, I'm trying to do what I want to do. I don't know, I can't do Larry Flynt. I'm going to try. You know, I want to do something important. I want to do something that means something. And these antics are pretty funny, entertaining, outrageous. How much of it is true, I don't know for certain. And Edward Norton does a good job as the lawyer. But it's not like, oh, such a powerful performance, but he serves the story well as he should. And it's either, again, about the trial stuff or it's the love story stuff. And the love story was because Woody Harrelson and Courtney Love had nice chemistry with each other, that worked well. And the trial stuff, it's outrageous and the, like, what's going to happen next. You know, he's throwing oranges at the judge, or, you know, almost as insane as the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. And then the other court trial he had is with Jerry Falwell, who's a very big religious figure at that time. And they had written an article in Hustler about, oh, he had sex with his mother. And Falwell is suing for libel and emotional distress. And, you know, the sad thing, spoiler alert, I guess spoilers, super spoilers, is Courtney Love's character got AIDS, and at one point she died trying to take a bath, drowned, and Woody Harrelson did a nice emotional job showcasing that distress. It's hard to cry on camera, because at times it can mean well, but it can be looked at as laughable. It's just because we know this is a film, it's not reality, it's not home footage, it's a film, and sometimes you could cry and you feel the heartstrings tug, and sometimes you see someone cry and you laugh. Oh, that guy looks stupid, cry. It just depends on, I guess, the either A, how it's filmed, how the person acts it, or also on the viewer. If they're not liking the film anyway, they just want to make fun of a scene just because. And it goes to the final, lawyer, the trial thing, which even goes to the Supreme Court. Like I said, the cast work well. Woody Harrelson does a wonderful job. I think he was nominated. He didn't win, but he was nominated for his role. I think Jeffrey Rush Jeffrey Rush won for Shine, but I know Woody Harrelson was nominated. I don't know if it won any big awards, and this film did not do well when it came out. This was a box office flop. This film only made $20 million. I mean, it was a bomb. So it's one of those things that's like surprised me when I was looking back on this film again. Crispin Glover. See, someone's going to write it down. I remember it's Crispin Glover. That's who I'm thinking of. So I knew it. See, it takes me a while. Getting older. Getting more senile at my age. Crispin Glover. That's who I was thinking. Crispin Glover from Back to the Future, Friday the 13th Part 4, doing the funny dance. Martin McFly's dad. He's part of the group along with Vincent Schiavelli and such. But yeah, it only made $20 million. Of course, Woody Harrelson would go on to bigger roles or better roles. I liked him in True Detective Season 1. He was the villain Carnage in Venom 2, which was not Woody Harrelson's fault. It's just a bad script and bad direction. Can't save that film. Woody could not save that film. Just couldn't. I think that was done just for a paycheck, which I can understand. It'd be a pretty good paycheck. Did a superhero movie. Miloš Forman would go on to direct. I think he did Man on the Moon, Jim Carrey film. But yeah, the fact this film bombed is like, you think of all the other films that were a hit, it's crazy. But I guess, at the time people didn't really want to go see a film about a pornographer. But it's a nice take on the First Amendment and censorship. And, as Larry Flynt says, if it could represent a scumbag like me, think about what it could do for you with the First Amendment. And like I said, it goes back to the beginning where you just sell murder and it's fine, but if you sell sex, you get put in jail. It's crazy. I mean, you do it on other stuff. There are directors who were P to the E to the D to the O's, like Victor Salva, who directed his film Clown House and had sex with the lead who was a little boy and filmed it. So it's not like conjecture. It was filmed. He gets not even a year in jail. Well, I can't remember how. Maybe it was. It wasn't long in jail. I'll say that. It wasn't long. I forget exactly, so don't quote me on it. But it wasn't long. Wesley Snipes got more jail time for tax evasion. Much more jail time. So go fucking figure on that. And you say for a lot of stuff, there are people that get busted for marijuana and get a lot more strict than people who, I don't know, shot someone. The law system still is up for the shit creek of Iola. But yeah, The People vs. Larry Flynt, good cast, wonderful lead performance, and an interesting story that goes through the ups and downs of this guy going through all these trials, the outrageousness, the craziness, as well as a pretty decent love story to boot. And yeah, I just wish, it kind of made me wish that, yeah, it's about the court trial, of course, but see a little bit more of the in-between in some of these eras and decades, that maybe there were other crazy stuff that Larry Flynt was up to that they could pull out of and represent. But again, how much is this true and how much did it sanitize Larry Flynt? If people are upset about that, I can understand. But as a movie, it was at least interesting. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.